I'm Kevin Ward, and I was a big Red One soldier. The biggest challenge with Al Qaeda was you just didn't know. That was the biggest issue we had. It's unknown of where you're going into and whether or not you're going to encounter them and how you're going to encounter them. I think a lot of times we trained, when we were training to go over there, we were training in I would say a one-dimensional way to train. But as our training evolved and we were getting into theater over there to combat the Al Qaeda, we realized that it was 360 because they could take us out from high points, they could blow us up from low points. We're pretty much unprotected at all times, and the only thing we can do is be very assertive, alert, and watch each other's back, which is the family growing mentality that we have each other's back.
If you get a little closer,
Yeah,
you might get a little more of the sound. It's directional.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Oh, because it's hard for me to do it with the screen.
Almost on a daily basis, whether we were patrolling, we would try to embrace the villages. What I mean by that is go to the villages, meet with the clerics, go throughout the village, and as we were gaining trust with the Iraqi security teams and the National Guard that we were actually training, they would tell their families about us and about me and about what we were doing. And they saw, I believe, that they saw a change from the business we were doing prior to that. Our predecessor wasn't doing what we were doing. They weren't going out to the village. How are these things working? How's your water? Are you getting adequate supplies? Are your kids safe? Who's threatening you? Where are they? We would ask these questions because we were truly concerned about their welfare and their safety. And when I think they believed that we were caring enough about them, that is when you started to see Iraqi people not be so offset from us, but they were more warm to us. They would actually cheer when we'd come to their neighborhood. They would go, America, America, America. And I would tell my guys, hey, to the children, they always wanted a part of America. We would take our U.S. flags off of our uniforms and hand them to the children. So we were trying to demonstrate that stewardship early on when we took on that role to gain their trust. Communicating home was a little bit challenging because we had long days, and really the mission comes first. I mean, we do have families, but we're over there for a reason, and when we have our downtime, that is the time which is very limited. Sometimes you'd have to take, because of the period of rest that we needed to go back out on these missions, it was a sacrifice. So you had to say, okay, I'm going to make one call this week, or maybe I'm going to make one every other week, or maybe I'm going to do 2 emails. You had to discipline yourself, and you had to balance not just your own schedule that you're under, but you had to figure out the schedule on the other end. Maybe you would actually write a letter the old-fashioned way, just like they did back in the day. And we would write out a letter, and we would get a letter back. And we had mail call once a day. It was difficult. It was frustrating because your family goes on living whether you're there or not. And you're going on living in the environment you are as a soldier. And a lot of times, you have to be able to separate your family from mission, which is a difficult thing because you're with your family all the time, and then you're going to go away from your family. So there's a separation. It's a psychological, it hurts your heart, and you have to learn how to go on and understand that they're there to support you, but you have to have your mind engaged in what your mission is right then and right there. I suffered injuries while I was there, but I don't think I really realized the severity of those injuries because when you're in the heat of battle or you're in combat, if you ever played any sports in your life, there's like a little high you get. It's like running. Endorphins, they get going in your brain and they shoot throughout your body, and you feel like you're like superhuman at sometimes. Well, when we come back from this type of environment, that is when all the health issues and medical issues start to appear. And yes, I hurt my neck. I ruptured some discs in it. I got a plate in it now, which holds it together. My back is suffering. I have lower lumbar issues. Discs are flat, so I'm in the process of trying to complete that healing process and getting my medical issues taken care of there. There are sacrifices we make, but to be honest with you, I'd make these sacrifices again. And if it meant the ultimate, I would do it just to be able to serve under Big Red One, knowing that what we believed in the mission, and we accomplished that mission with their support. One of the times the night he went off, I remember we were in a convoy, and I remember Captain Turner being in the head vehicle, and I was in the vehicle, the second vehicle, and something just didn't feel right. You get these gut feelings, you just gotta go with it. And I had a gut feeling that just something wasn't right, and I didn't like the distance we were at, I didn't like anything. And what happened was an IED had gone off. The blast, it knocked me down, and I got back up, but you're disorientated because of the shock wave. You're really like dizzy, and you're not really coherent, and there's a high pitch that hits your ears, and it's like if you go for a hearing test, and they have the little beep, 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 but this is like your ears are just ringing, and you can't hear anybody, and you'll hear voices, people screaming, and you're trying to get a handle on what's going on, and you're trying to get your own senses together and your own balance to be able to do the next thing, but you're almost like paralyzed for a moment, and time like slows down and stops, and it's very surreal. It's a life-changing event, that's all I can say. I take every day of life now very precious.
I was part of the team, and I was only successful because I was part of that team. We're like everyone else. We have families, we have parents, we live in your neighborhood. Our job just happens to be a soldier in the first division. Even though we all inside, we all have different fears and different worries about different things, we all did the job because we're soldiers and that's what we're doing. But we probably got sold because people said that's what's in the thing. This day, too.
I'm a better father, I'm a better husband, I'm a better man because of the first division.
Big Red One made up of soldiers from all over America. story exemplifies all of the good that's in us as a people.
Common defense is the line of the Constitution. That's why the Army was created. We exist to provide for the common defense.
This is a volunteer army. Less than 1% of Americans served in the armed forces.
The Big Red Line is unique. It's unique because it truly is the 1st Division. It's our oldest division. It's been engaged in more campaigns than any other division. And it has not just a history, but it has a culture. The culture of duty first.
Some of the most difficult and important missions in our country's history, they've been entrusted to soldiers who've worn this patch on their arm.
You're there for your brother, you're there for your sister. It's not about you, it's about him.
I was part of a team, and I was only successful because I was part of that team.
You say you love your country, but when you go into battle or when you go away from your family for months and years at a time, when you're willing to make those kind of commitments to your country, it is a very sobering, but very satisfying feeling.
When I put on